So what's going on, Jordan? Thank you for joining me, first of all, and would love to just kind of hear like how is this off season leading into spring training gone for you so far?
Yeah, what's up, Connor? But everything's been good. Everything's been good. I knew um, from the fall league going into it that body was kind of messed up, compensating a lot with the knee injury. So um, definitely you came at the right time. So I definitely knew going into the off season that this would be a good thing. Like um, lower back, hips were jacked up. Wasn't moving very freely down the mound during the fall. And I knew these workouts, I knew they would help me going into, spring training. And yeah, just committed to doing it every day, doing all the workouts every day. Yeah, and it worked as I wanted it to, So
Mhm.
yeah, definitely feel a sense of moving freely down the mound more. And that's all I really wanted, just something that, because I knew going into it that, you know, hips were, very jacked up, arm was jacked up. So definitely helped going into spring training. I'm very glad that I um, spent time doing this every day, um, during the off season. So, and still also doing it. So,
Yeah, no, that's the
yeah,
important part. We're still doing it.
yeah,
So when we first started, I know you kind of just went through the laundry list of things that you were dealing with as far as the back, the hip, the knee, and to a certain extent your elbow. So just like walk me through kind of what was going on with those different segments before we initially started.
yeah. The first thing was the elbow. The first thing that was, originally supposed to miss maybe 2 or 3 starts of the season with that. Just like an outer elbow. It wasn't inner elbow. It was outer elbow. Like more of the extensors
Mhm.
in the back of the forearm. But yeah, that was the first thing. Really was on and off the IL in 2023 with it, and never really knew why. Um, and yeah, I mean, seen a lot of doctors throughout the off season with it, and it got better. Got like an injection in there, and it got better. But after that, it was, you know, you've heard the story. Last rehab start, going into about to go into a Philly ball, feeling good. Um, Play at home. I'm going to cover, and yeah, kind of barrel rolled into my knee. So out for a season with that, and then I knew going into it that everything wasn't, going into the fall that, everything wasn't really syncing up. I needed something that was going to, help me with, not compensate on my left knee, and also just to have my arm feel good, just to have the body feel good, And yeah, uh, going into this off season, um, yeah, and exactly what I wanted. I remember we started talking, and I'm like, this would be really good. This would be really good to get into, and yeah, and then I committed to it and ended up doing it every day. So then I got the results that I wanted. You know,
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that.
yeah,
So I'm curious as far as like for those that don't know, the knee injury that you sustained, you had that torn MCL that required surgery. Was
yeah,
the low back pain that you were experiencing happening before or after that or MCL tear?
yeah. The lower back pain has always been, it's always been there. I probably should have said I had a herniated disc early in college, like sophomore year of college, and it's always lingered in the lower back. But yeah, I mean it's always been there, and it got a little bit worse once the knee injury happened. So because it was all misaligned. So, but yeah, it's always been there. Always been there for sure. So.
So as far as like the process that we underwent together, just kind of explain to me the types of stuff that we did as far as like the assessments and the exercises that you were doing and kind of the process that we went through.
Yeah, I remember going into it. You asked me what was my main thing, and it was definitely lower back, um, arm, scap, and with a lot of those workouts. really helps. The what was it? The arm curls.
Hmm.
I would say the reverse presses, the extended lateral, all the I would say all the flexion positions. Those were also key. Those were key as well. All the T spine that we did too, and it was mainly more of me just getting the habit of doing it every day too. I think that's what really helped because during the season you're going to take your off days as your off days. And with this program, I kept to it. Spending 30 minutes a day every day doing it. Just being mindful and also being mindful of just like how I sit in the chair. But yeah, I committed to doing this every day, and I knew the my main. I would say probably my main ones were I like the flexion, um, the T spine, the arm curls, the presses, yeah, all that good stuff. So
How would you describe what we did together as being different or similar to other types of programs or like methods of rehab that you've tried in the past?
yeah, I would describe it as very different. I would say it's definitely put me in a lot of positions that at first you're just not comfortable with, and then as you're going throughout the process, you start getting more comfortable with it, and you start realizing like it was uncomfortable for a reason, like I was very tight in those places, like the what's an example? The cobra stretch. That one, a very awkward position,
Yeah,
but
getting your legs that wide in that position is not easy to do.
yeah, yeah, definitely not easy to do, but just got comfortable with being uncomfortable, throughout the process of this, and it just, it ended up working out at the end. So
What do you feel like this process and the difference in what we did taught you or didn't teach you about your body that you were kind of hoping to learn more about?
um I'd say I'd say it taught me a lot more than it didn't teach me, it taught me a lot of where I was restricted at. You know, the positions I was good with, the positions I was really bad with, and it really taught me a lot about that. And, you know, morally, like, for example, like the T spine, couldn't really get all the way around to touch the floor, and then by the end of that process, it ended up getting, where I wanted to, with that. Also, the extended laterals. Extended laterals is a big one. That was one that I had to, work on each day. I knew that was a big one, like the triangle, and then the graduated one, which was the
Mhm.
extended lateral. And yeah, I knew that was going to be a big one. And yeah, I mean, I would say morally taught me about my restrictions than not teaching me.
Mhm.
I'm glad I did this because it helped me get into those positions. So
Absolutely. So I'm curious as far as mechanically speaking, what has changed for you or improved in the flow? Because you and I have never directly worked on mechanics. We've talked about things that you want to improve. So how do you feel like your mechanics have or have not changed from doing posture?
yeah, definitely helped me. I'd say morally helped me like stay stacked, like pelvic wise, in the pelvis, and just helped me open up more, freely, be explosive down the mound. During the fall, I could tell something was wrong. I just couldn't, put a finger on it. And honestly, couldn't really put a finger on it now, but it's just I knew these workouts would hit what I needed to, where I was trying to get my goal. So, and ultimately I got there, through this off season. I seen the velo spike back up, and that was the main thing. I knew like during the fall league, the velo wasn't there, and a little concerning, but it wasn't too concerning just because I'm coming off rehab, and yeah, and then after I bought into this, for the 2 months and on still ongoing,
Mhm.
um, definitely seen the velo spike. Who's to say? I would like to say it was your program, of course, but who's to say what else it was? But yeah, it's still a mystery. I knew that this was a main component, though. Just being able to move more freely down the mound. So
Yeah,
that's all I can ask
absolutely.
for.
And I think posture and velo are kind of one of those two weird things where there isn't necessarily like a direct one-to-one correlation of my
Right,
posture is 5% better, so I throw 3 miles an hour harder. Like it doesn't
right.
necessarily work like that. But the thing and you and a lot of other guys talk about are these positions that you're able to hit and move through more effectively. And that's what leads to the velo. So as we're talking about maybe not even positions like exercise wise, but positions throughout your actual delivery, what through the delivery feels different?
Um, just being more explosive off the mound, not being handicapped through my follow through. Being able to open up and get more explosive, like just riding the slope, pretty much. And that's been my main thing. That I needed more help with the my hips. Like you saw it during the assessments, the hips were not where they needed to be, and I knew once I got into a good position that I'll be able to move freely down the mound. The T spine, shoulder hip separation down the mound. It all came back after I started with this program. So.
That's awesome. So, last one for you. As far as kind of like what you might say to somebody who's on the fence about implementing posture and investing into their career, what would you say to that person?
Um, I would say it's definitely a good investment. It's a thing that you can't like. I keep saying it, but it's a thing that you can't lack on. You're gonna have to be bought. If you're not bought in, then don't do it. It's more of a thing you're gonna have to spend not even like 25, 30 minutes throughout your day just doing. And it's more of a type of thing that you're probably not gonna see the results the first couple weeks, but as you go on, you will see the results. You know, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. So.
Well, awesome. So, I guess actually one more for you. As far as goals for
Yeah.
yourself in this season, what do you got listed for what you want to be able to accomplish?
My main thing, keep it simple. Just stay healthy. I want to stay healthy throughout this process. Knees been feeling good, arms been feeling good, and definitely we'll keep doing the in season program throughout the season. But yeah, just mainly stay healthy. All that good stuff. Throw strikes.
Yep.
Less walks.
Availability
So.
in the strike zone. That's how we move our way up.
Right, right. So, but yeah, my main thing just going throughout this process was just hoping to get anywhere near my normal velo, and that's what it was, and that's what happened. So, yeah, that's all I could have asked for.
Well, I appreciate you, Jordan. I 100% appreciate the dedication and everything that you've put into this because like you
Yeah,
are at the top level of guys that are able to take the plan and execute the plan to get the result that they want. And I love
right.
what you said as far as like if you're not bought in, this might not be for you because it's not a get quick fix thing. It takes the
Yeah,
consistency of it to get to where we want to be.
right, right. Yeah, thank you, because you came at the right time. I was needed a I needed the answer that I didn't have the answer for. And in this program help that, so thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Jordan.
Yes
All right.
sir.